Gentlemen, welcome back to I Am Man. This is Men's Talk. This is where we talk about life, we talk about manhood, and we focus on improving ourselves as men. So thank you for joining me for this session. This session we are going to focus on the pillar of protect within. In our previous session, we focused on the pillar of protect on the outside of the materialistic life that we have. And for this session, it's just focused on you as a person within and how do you protect yourself. So, gentlemen, looking at this, how can I say this topic? It's quite one of the most important ones because this topic focuses a lot on the mentality of a man. And that involves his character, that involves his moral values, that involves the integrity, the type of person he is, how he carries himself, all of that comes through this mentality of the man. So looking at what I'm going to explain to you now, I'll start off with an illustration, I would say. I love using illustrations, gents, so please be patient with me in regards to that, and this is the way I feel I can communicate with you guys. So the illustration I will give you is in parallel with a house, right? We know as gents, we want to have our own houses one day, we want to run our house, to be leaders of our house, we want to build our houses. We have a specific way of what our house looks like in our minds. Now, when I talk about parallel, I want you to take that house that you have in your head, right? And use it as parallel to a mind house. So basically your mind is going to be that house, right? And now every house, gentlemen, has furniture, it has rooms, it has certain divisions which you are very secretive about, things that you don't like people seeing. It's almost like there's a room at the back that you have 20,000 locks on to make sure that nobody enters that room. Then there's rooms that you have maybe one lock on, and then there's rooms that stand wide open for everybody to just walk through. Then you have your kitchen, you have your lounge area, and this is filled with different furnitures, of course, and all of these objects resemble something within your mind. So I'll give you an example. I would say a table would resemble integrity, character of yours, So this is what I'm speaking about in parallel to your mind house, right? Now, within your mind house, what we as men have had quite a lack of focus on and placed importance on is that we don't protect our mind house. We tend to learn how to protect ourselves a lot physically. We go to defense classes. We do all of these things, but when it comes to our mind house, our mentality, our personality, who we are within, we don't protect ourselves. And the question is, why don't we do that? And I believe one of the answers of that question is that when you don't realize your worth as a man, you will not protect that. You see, if you realize the worth of something, you'll understand the importance of protecting it. So what is the worth of your mind house? A question you should ask yourself as well. How much do you value yourself? How much do you value your dreams, your ideas, your visions? Do you value that about yourself as a man? And if not, why not? What is taking that away from you? That valuing you as that type of man for that success that you see yourself as, right? So as men, coming back to our mind house, we don't necessarily protect our mind house properly. Why? Because we don't put importance on the value of our house. Now, I'll give you another illustration. If you had R1 million in your house right now, what would you do to protect that cash? It's just lying right in your lounge. You've got R1,000,000 there. Would you leave the house locked? Would you leave the house open? Would you get security measures to protect that R1,000,000? Because that's your money, that's your investments, that's something that's value to you. So what are you going to do as a man to protect that? All of you know the answer to that. You know the steps that you would take as a man to protect your interests, your investments. Now that goes in parallel to you as a man. Once you understand that you are worth more than R1,000,000, men, then your mind state starts to change. Then you start thinking to yourself, I'm just not going to allow anybody to walk inside of my house and leave their baggage. You see, I'm not going to allow just anybody to come into my house and change my belief, my character. You see, I'm not going to allow somebody to come into my house and change my visions and affect the way I think about my future, what I believe about myself. Do I believe that I will be this? And are you going to allow people to come in and take that away from you? So in our mind house, too many times we have allowed people to walk in and take what they want and leave what they want. You see, gentlemen. So we as men, we need to start putting security measures in our mind house. Do you have a fence to prevent somebody from just coming inside? After your fence, do you have dogs to make sure that there's no threat? Do you have an alarm system to make sure that if somebody enters that is not allowed to enter there? Because trust me when I say, there are people, there are things in life that will come in without needing your authority or try to ask your authority. You see, but you need to have measures there to make sure that it doesn't enter your spaces. Limit your access, man. Limit your access to who has access to you. All right, gentlemen. So as I was saying right now, that's your mind house. And the importance of your mind house, the importance of the value about how you feel about yourself is one of the most important things of manhood. You see, there's the saying that they say, if you look at the graveyard is filled with riches and treasures. And the reason people say that, right, it's because in the graveyard, there have been people that have died with their visions and their dreams. Why? Because they allowed people to rob them. They allowed people to come into their house and take their dreams and run away with their dreams, run away with their ideas. So this is why it's so important for you as a man to protect your mind house. Gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time and listening to this session, which is the pillar of protect. We have so many more pillars to go through, and there's so much that we are going to be speaking about and discussing, going even deeper in depth and detail to understand this manhood journey that we are on. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you guys again in the next episode. This is Darion Langenhoven, the ambassador of the Gentleman's Club and the founder of I Am Man.